Hey everyone, and welcome back to another Legion Alpha video. I just went in to Ashara. It's under invasion by the Burning Legion, and I just got an objective to defend the gate to Orgrimmar. This is all a part of the opening event to Legion that will be coming with the pre-patch. A number of zones are going to be under attack by the Burning Legion, and we can help out in defending them. First of all, though, I need to fill out my action bars. Yeah, I should probably have all that done before I start the video. Anyhow, basically the way this works is there are vendors which have a bunch of stuff that you can purchase, and there are various different events that are going on. This is stage 1 out of 4 of this scenario, so I can pretty much just run in and start to help out my fellow players. Now, you can actually see that the defense is going quite well here. It's pretty simple. We do have a number of these siege engines, which I can ride in right now. I've hopped in it, but I can't actually do anything. So I'm going to leave again and perhaps see if I can get a fresh one for myself. We've got some large Legion enemies here floating about the place. Let's just Blade Storm, see how that goes. Yeah, lots of worries during the Blade Storm, so everything is pretty much falling apart. Overall, so far, and this quite literally is my first impression as I just flicked DX Story on as soon as I went into this zone because I saw this big scenario thing pop up. Yeah, my first impressions of this immediately are pretty damn strong. The gate to Orgrimmar is being attacked, and I think overall that is a pretty cool little set piece, and definitely something that you want to greet players with when you're trying to sell the idea that the Legion is supposedly invading the world. In case you're interested, as an example, the Infernals have 1.7 million health. These guys have 7 million health, so these are pretty chunky mobs overall, and we're just about finished. There we go, stage complete. Defeat the Legion commander threatening the Orgrimmar rear gates. So I've got to assume, yes, here we go, Dragzel. Trade Prince Galliwick's not particularly pleased with this. Unfortunately, the dude is kind of bugging out a little bit. 52 million health, which is quite a bit. There we go, that's that enemy about to fly in. Now you'll notice I got a new currency there. I actually got 15 nether shards for helping out. So let's just run in and I suppose start attacking this guy. As is to be expected, his health has just massively scaled up. He does have some mechanics, so he's got that pulse thing. I just stood in it there and took a decent amount of damage, which is absolutely what I want to do. Thankfully, enraged regeneration exists, so it's very unlikely that it's actually going to kill me. That's just fine, and there you go. That is Dragzel dead. I haven't actually got any... oh, no, sorry, that's the 2 lieutenants killed. We now need to kill this commander guy. Ah, right, the Pit Lord, who has spawned over here, pretty much just out of sight. Seems like he's got a frontal cone attack. I believe that is the same model as your man, Manaroth from Hellfire Citadel. Not particularly lasting that long, I'm noticing. Quite a bit of lag going on here, unfortunately. Now, these servers are hosted in the US, and I am in the EU, so that's probably a large part of the reason. Okay, he very nearly killed me with that breath, but yeah, there you go, I actually made it through. I got a small Legion chest. Let's open that up and see what's within. Okay, I got some Fel Forged War Boots and 35 Nether Shards. They are 685 item levels, so is that better than what I spawned with? Yes, it is. So I'll put those on. Now then, stage 3, repel the Legion forces. Okay, so this seems to be a area-wide thing. We've got a bunch of invasion sites on the map. We've got a boss here. We've got some Legion structures, and then we've got some other bosses over there. So I'm going to go and do a little bit of an exploration here. Actually, first of all, let's just kill 1 or 2 mobs to see what sort of items they drop. Okay, so here is the first guy about to be dead, and he doesn't seem to have dropped anything, and I haven't got anything actually appearing in my infantry. I'll kill a few more and see if anything happens. Alright, they don't seem to drop loot, but that's fine. Let's go over to this Legion structure here. So it seems like this is something that I can destroy. Here's a Demolisher, so I definitely think we should hop in it and see what happens. Okay, so we've got Hurl Boulder and Ram. Pretty much your standard Demolisher toolkit. Actually, no, that's a Goblin building. I shouldn't be destroying that. Yeah, so it seems like... What's going on with this Legion invasion point? I would have assumed like some sort of structure would have spawned. Anyway, we do have some of these Siegebreaker guys to attack. Not exactly doing a massive amount of damage, though. Anyhow, I've attacked him a bit, so let's head over to this Legion structure, which is just ahead of me, and see if we can do anything to damage that in this Demolisher. Okay, so it just did a massive big spell effect on the floor. I've got to assume that's not something I want to be standing in. The building itself doesn't take damage, so it's probably just more a case of killing the mobs that are surrounding it. It does appear to be surrounded, or covered, or, defended by this mob here with 5 million health. So I'm just going to hop out of the Demolisher and take it on foot, because, let's be real, that Demolisher is really not doing that much damage, and, yeah, far quicker just to kill it myself, I think. Yeah, that was absolutely a mistake. I'm almost dead, which is a little bit of a problem. We are making good progress through this event overall, though, but unfortunately it looks like I'm going to be killed by this guy. Not exactly ideal. Just as a quick update, all that stuff has got me up to 50 nether shards, and I can have a maximum of 2,000. This guy's still dead, though, and I should be on his tap list. Did I get anything for killing that? No. It does not appear that I did, which is a little bit of a pity. Anyhow, I'm going to continue exploring around and seeing what's going on here. First of all, we have a Fel Reaver. I think people generally like Fel Reaver, so let's see what's going on there. Alright, looks like a killable Fel Reaver as well, with a lot of players here. Now, this isn't a stress testing environment, so this... oh dear, it seems to have evaded because of one of its mechanics. Well, that certainly is a pity. But we do have a small legion of players here. Anyway, as I was saying, this is all happening in a testing environment, so the server is going to be pretty packed at the minute. That said, if you're on a server with a decent population, I wouldn't be overly surprised if you got an experience similar to this when the pre-patch came out. That said, I was astounded when I looked at the EU Realm list, because I hadn't really been logging into live for a while, and I actually saw that... yeah, live servers did not have a massive amount of people in them. Oh dear, I've managed to die again, but thankfully this Fel Reaver is also dead and has not reset. Certainly a good thing. Let's see what the reward is. Okay, so the Fel Reaver has died, and I haven't actually got anything. It seems like, based on what I've seen so far, that you don't really get any direct rewards from killing these guys. Instead, you just get progress towards the overall scenario, and every stage of the scenario rewards you with a whole bunch of nether shards. And I will visit the vendor for nether shards in order to show you the kind of rewards that are going to be available from this event. Alright, well, someone resurrected me. I'm going to go and just fly over some stuff. Actually, I've just noticed a whole bunch of new Legion structures have spawned, and one of the two that were around here have actually disappeared. So let's just go and explore a little bit and see what this stuff is like before the event overall is finished. So looking at these invasion sites, they pretty much just seem to denote larger concentrations of enemies. Yeah, so the invasion sites are pretty much these small little citadel things, and they are... really, they're protected by mobs which are not particularly powerful, about 320,000 health. I'm just going to run in here and try to kill a few. Alright, there we go, we're on to the final stage. Defeat the Demon Lord. Looks like I won't really get to investigate this site right now. I think it's a little bit more important we see what this Demon Lord stuff is about. So I'm going to fly over to these remaining 2 icons that are on the map. This really has actually progressed very quickly, I've noticed, which is a bit funny. Anyhow... here is one Legion enemy. Yeah, loads of players around the place. So let's just start attacking these guys and we'll see what's up. Mechanically, it seems like there are some basic AoEs that exist in, to force people to move around a little bit. That said, it is quite hard to see that spell effect amongst the slew of, the various different spell effects that are on the ground. I assume they're the sort of things that, might get turned down in raids or something like that. So he does a frontal cleave, he drops some stuff on the floor. Overall, not a particularly worrisome enemy. That's him dead. Am I still on... now I'm up to 110 nether shards. Well, here's another enemy. Of course, loads of players around the place. He's doing a... okay, he's doing flap wings, which is blowing you in a certain direction. That's pretty cool. He just put a big fiery mark in the ground. That's a nice, clear spell effect. I like that, as much as it might not be the prettiest thing. It is nice when spell effects are nice and clear as to what you're supposed to do with them. Anyhow, this enemy, like many of the other ones, isn't going to last that long, because look how many bloody players are here. Certainly nice to see that sort of thing in World of Warcraft. Anyway, he's about to flap his wings for the last time. We're just about finished, down to 2 million health, and that is the opponent dead. Once again, nothing's really happened. We still don't know what this Demon Lord is. It says commanding, defeat the Demon Lord, commanding the invasion at the Orgrimmar Gate. Okay, well, perhaps that means the Demon Lord is at the Orgrimmar Gate and not on the map. I'm just going to head back and check that. And there you go, there's this like really big swirly thing up in the sky above him. This enemy's got 261 million health, so it's kind of like a mini raid boss, world boss kind of deal. Wow, so many players attacking him, so he's just done something which is making us move around slower, I think? I don't know, there's not a debuff appearing. Anyhow, yeah, so very big boss, lots of players fighting him. Nice cool scene to see. Haven't really seen player concentrations like this since, I don't know, like Rookmar back when the Warlords of Draenor expansion launched, or perhaps even in Undasta all the way back in Mists of Pandaria at the time when you would be taking, you know, 2 or 3 full, fully stacked raid groups to kill him. Anyway, this boss isn't presenting much of a threat at the minute. That does seem to be the trend with world bosses in, World of Warcraft with Blizzard. But hey, that's fine, whatever. Opening event, I guess it's really just there to look cool and be accessible to people. Now, this doesn't supersede what we have already covered with the Legion World event, and that is the system where players can, become a secret agent with the Burning Legion. That stuff is still in, so this is... What I'm doing right now is kind of like the main content of it, but there is that cool little system going on, which will allow some, dastardly trolling and stuff like that to happen. I know some players don't really like it, but I think events like that, they're like a unique opportunity that you can only... really pull off in a game like this during an expansion launch event, so I think they certainly are worth doing. And yeah, this really is a ridiculous number of players. Like I'm down to 25 frames per second here. It's probably not that nice to watch, but there isn't much to do. Yeah, I got this guy particular nice amount of gusto to him, and we are down to, let's see. Oh yeah, still plenty of health to go, but as I said, lots of players. I'm actually somewhat surprised the servers are holding up. To all of this, so that's certainly quite good. Definitely bodes well for this working decently on launch. So there you go, he's dead. We've got Stand Against the Legion. Defend the Burning Legion as a part of an invasion event during the Legion pre-expansion stuff. So there you go, we get an achievement. That's pretty nifty. I still only have 110 nether shards. So that's a little bit odd. Maybe they still have some work to do in terms of the rewards that you get. But, yeah, it seems like that is the invasion pretty much done with. I should probably go and, first of all, I'll search here. If there's anything cool, I will show you. If not, I will go hunt down the NPCs that are involved in the rewards, and I'll show you what they do. Well, I'm back where we were earlier, and you can see that, yeah, it's just back to the normal amount of NPCs. Now, if you look at my map here, it says under invasion, right? If I click on Ashara, under invasion. Apparently there's supposed to be a timer involved, and this is supposed to go in and out properly. However, there are some UI bugs of that, according to Blizzard. But essentially the way this works is these Legion invasions will happen from time to time. The servers have just came up, and I don't know what their overall scheduling for this is going to be, but they will happen on, I suppose, a semi-regular basis, and you'll be able to get some nether shards from them. I don't know how many you will be able to get overall. The cap is 20,000. Sorry, 2,000, and I got 110. So perhaps you will get more than that from the final thing, because it seemed like there were a few stages which didn't give me any rewards when they were supposed to. But yeah, over time you'll be doing those events, you'll be collecting, those rewards. Now, in terms of the areas that the events are actually going to be happening in, they are Hillsborough Foothills, Ashara, Tanaris, Dunmorrow, Westfall, and the Northern Barrens. So only 6 zones. I think it's a pretty cool idea, the Legion coming in and invading places. Right now, am I impressed? Well, I think it is a good feature. I'm actually quite happy with it. I think they could probably have managed to do more with it. It could have been a little bit more of a dynamic and systemic thing, sort of like in Guild Wars 2, where the events are kind of in a set path, and if NPCs win an event, or are able to survive for a certain amount of time and aren't shut down by players, then the event progresses to another stage, but then players can beat them back to the previous stage, and it's got this kind of tug-of-war, systemic, like, push and pull thing going on, which really does work quite well in Guild Wars 2. I would have preferred something like that for this event, and just in general with World of Warcraft, as it keeps the world a little bit more alive, than having these set scenarios just spawning in from time to time on a fixed schedule. The actual scenario was not in place in the wetlands way back when the Legion Alpha came and people actually found all those Legion buildings and NPCs. I think it's a little bit unfortunate that It's not a permanent thing that's a little bit more systemic. Alright, well the world server went down, but I can actually go here and show you what these little Illidari camps are like. So, we've got a few different NPCs around the place, and we've also got this guy, the reluctant Quartermaster. So then, what sort of things does this Quartermaster sell? Well, there's the Morag clan totem, a trinket, so that's pretty simple. Legion-bound ring, a ring, basically. There's that, a neck, a finger, another ring, I guess, another neck, a back. Yeah, so basically there's necks, rings, and trinkets for various different slots and roles. You know, all of them are going to be covered, of course. And then we have some Transmog sets. We've got the Fel Forged Plate Armor, we've got the Fel Shroud Leather Armor, we've got the Fel Infused Cloth Armor, and the Fel Chain Mail Armor. For the most part, this stuff is essentially just a, basically just a recolor of some of the Warlords of Draenor gear. It's a more green-colored one, so, you know, obviously is going to fit the Burning Legion theme a little bit more. As much as I think it is unfortunate that they're not delivering a new set that is specific to this event, I can understand why it doesn't maybe make the most sense to create a set just to put it here, and maybe they could have put in a recolor of some of the Legion armor. Maybe that would have been more exciting, but again, that's something that actually might take away from the feeling of progression. In Legion, here is another NPC. She sells some stuff. Felstone. Your attacks have a chance to trigger additional Fel effects. I'd be super interested to see if that works in other bits of content like raids, because Blizzard generally stop caring about raids and the like when it comes to the pre-patch. Well, that said, I think if they were to have this be effective in raids and dungeons, it would really hurt some of their initial data. So you know what? Probably a bad idea. We've also got the Potion of Fel Protection, a potent concoction that reduces all damage taken by 10% for 10 minutes. A bit boring, honestly. And then the Battle Mender's Dressing heals you for 10% max health every 1 second for 8 seconds. Kind of handy being healed up nice and quick. Overall, though, these things are kind of boring. The gear from this dude... well, right now it's pretty boring, let's be honest. It's a bunch of Transmog sets and then some item level 700 gear. I mean, sure, you'll want to get that 700 gear. That's powerful enough that it'll be a nice little help when you're moving into Legion, I suppose. But at the end of the day, none of this stuff is particularly important. I think it would have been nice if there was perhaps a few more unique things going on. Maybe there will be, though. We have no idea at the minute. They could always add stuff in a new build. Right now, we are certainly just seeing the basic setup here, and that's a setup that they will be able to expand upon. So, this, in combination with what I already showed you, in terms of players being agents of the Burning Legion, is what comprises the Legion launch event overall. They might add stuff to this as time goes on, such as more rewards, but that's pretty much that. Now, the reason why I haven't showed you any of the Alliance stuff is because the zones, which are for, well, the Hillsborough Foothills, Dunmoreau, and Westfall are to be the zones that actually get invaded. Right now, none of them have invasions. I don't really know when. I've already showed you one invasion. From everything that I've gathered, all the invasions are the same. They follow the same format in that there is 4-stage long scenarios, so nothing really new to say there. That's pretty much it for the video. Let me know what you think about this scenario. Overall, I think it's pretty cool. You may have noticed it's a little bit short. Probably worth noting that there were a lot of players here, so I have a feeling they would be a decent bit longer on the live servers. Anyway, that's it for me. Let me know what you think in Twitter or down in the comments. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.